Don't cough, Beatrice, don't
Sorry.
cough.
21 today, Bea.
Right, I'll just take a picture of
Are you alright, darling?
Yeah.
We could do with some lozenges, maybe.
I know.
Don't worry. Just hold that for me too, Bea.
Heather, you come whenever you're ready, because it's not a problem, we'll be home. If not, we'll
Gonna
see
drive
you.
like the wind, are you? Hi, Dave.
I will.
Let's just smile at Dave and go for it. Great, well we're not in a hurry now. This is filming and presumably it will be able to hear what we're saying as well. But we're just going to give your dad a few minutes to get ahead of us.
Yeah, that's fine.
And so what we can tell you about some things on board the aircraft that I might refer to in flight to give you a better understanding of what's happening. So this, when we turn it on, is going to be a satellite navigation system. And whilst we have a map here so that we can't really get lost, this is a lot more accurate and it works anywhere in the world. And the only difference between this sat nav and what you maybe have seen in your car is that this has airspace on it.
Right.
Because obviously now we're in the sky. And in the sky, Bea, there aren't really any roads or signposts, so the datum that we use for not getting lost is the compass. And we actually have two. We have a magnetic compass here and also a gyro stabilized compass here. So looking over the instruments again, because I will refer to them in flight, this is called a vertical speed indicator. It tells us if we're climbing or descending, and we will be doing both those things. We're not really going to use this at all because what we're going to use for our artificial horizon is the real horizon.
Excuse me. I don't try the code, maybe.
It's on the board. I wrote it on the board. C 3 5 6 7 Yankee.
It's, what is it?
Yankee. Okay, so we're not going to use that particularly.
Okay.
This is the airspeed, and notice how it says knots on the outer scale and miles per hour on the inner scale. And we fly usually using knots because we calculate distance in what we call nautical miles, and a nautical mile is a little bit bigger than a statute mile.
Okay.
You're going to blow your nose?
Yeah.
Go on, have a good blow now. Have a really good blow, Bea. Let's get it out of the way. No problem.
I'm just gonna.
Yeah. Let's get it all on candid camera. That's just typical of your dad, isn't it? Filming everything. Okay.
Yeah.
So we've talked about the speed. This is the engine and the rotor RPM, and I told you, Bea, that you can have an engine failure and it's all okay. And when we do this simulated engine failure, because hopefully we won't have an engine failure for real, if we do, it's not the end of the world, but when we make this practice, I prove to you that we are not using the engine because the engine comes down to idle and the rotor stays in the green band.
Okay.
On all instruments in all aircraft there are colour codes. Yellow is normal, yellow is really cautionary, green is normal, and red represents a limit.
Okay.
So we have here an altimeter. This tells us how high above the sea we are, okay? That's another compass, which we don't have to worry really too much about either of these. But do you remember that I told you the collective lever is linked to the engine, so that as we raise it we get more power? This is our unit of power. and it's saying 30 now because that is the atmospheric pressure, but when we start the engine it will read how much power is in the engine.
Okay.
Few little more things here. The engine suffers with ice, so we have a little gauge here to tell us when we need to warm it up so that it stops it icing. We've got gauges to tell us whether the engine's running normally, fuel tanks, radio so that we can talk to the tower there because they're in control of us all the time. The transponder here is a coded piece of equipment so that we put a little code in that the tower tell us, and they can see where we are in the sky all the time. It's like Big Brother's watching you. But not only do they know where we are in the sky, this piece of equipment tells them how high we are as well. So let's just say that KLM is coming in from Amsterdam and we're in the local area. They can give us separation from each other and know that we're at the height we say we're at as well. So that just about covers everything on here. So 4.1, they've got off, that's great. Your dad's going to drive like a madman all the way to Susworth. So what you need to do, Bea, is tell me how to find Susworth, and I'm going to give you a little lesson on the way. So first of all, we'll put our headsets on. This is mine and that's yours. So straight over the top of your head. Oh, well, yeah, well done, Bea. It's a good job you're on the ball. See, I'm getting old now, and you kids make us realise how old and senile we are. Great, that's that. And 1604.1. Great. And I'm starting up with the, let's call it 12:35. Perfect. Hello, Bea. Hello, Bea.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So now let's get this near your mouth so that you can hear me as well. That's great.
Hello.
Talk to me, Bea. So it's super, isn't it? We can just talk to each other just the same. It's brilliant. So now I'm going to talk to air traffic and ask them if we can start up to go flying. Are you comfy with that?
Yeah.
Maybe just a little bit. Perfect. It's okay?
Yeah.
Good. So we can't do anything here without them saying we can. And I'm also going to do some checks on the engine prior to us going flying.
Okay.
Because already we've looked round the outside to check nothing's dropping off, and then we do some checks for the internal things that we can't see from the outside. And I'll talk you through everything that I'm doing as I do it, Bea. But right now I'm going to talk to the tower. Those people there. On the site tower, Golf Delta Oscar Delta Bravo, Hangar 2, request start and squawk. (1020) QNH 4267R squawk. R start approved. Golf Delta Bravo. Okay, good. So we're all clear now. I'll just give it maybe 1 prime. We're all clear all round. Here we go. Let's see if she'll start for us, Bea.